This is Healing Out Loud, a space where we can talk about the real, messy, beautiful parts of healing and remind each other that we're not alone. Healing Out Loud, Episode 3, Grieving the Old You. Grieving the old you isn't about going backward. It's about learning how to keep living forward after everything has changed. There's a version of me I can still picture clearly. The version before the stroke, before everything shifted, before I had learned how to rebuild my body, my mind, and my entire identity from the ground up. That version of me felt like everything was just opening up. I was preparing to go to the Sandra Day O'Connor School of Law in just a few months. I was working with a blood pattern analyst. I had dreams of criminal law or human rights law. I could see my future so clearly, it almost felt guaranteed. I didn't question my body. I didn't think about limits. I didn't wake up wondering what I might lose. And then, everything changed. My stroke happened on May 30th, 2021. Not all at once emotionally, not all at once physically, but it came in waves. Waves I didn't expect. Confusion first, then fear, then grief so deep I didn't even have words for it to begin with. Grief is not always about death. Sometimes it's about identity. It is about realizing you are still here, but you are not the same version of yourself you once knew. I was down at Barrow Neurological Institute for 2 months. I spent almost a month down at the neuro ICU, where I had my craniotomy or brain surgery, which got rid of about 75% of the AVM. After that, I moved into inpatient rehab for almost about another month. They wanted me to stay longer, but I needed to get out of there. I needed to go home. I needed to breathe outside of hospital walls again. I had my first gamma knife procedure in August of 2021. Later, I had a second one in December of 2024. Each time carrying its own kind of hope, fear, and waiting. Each time reminded me that healing is not a straight line. It is ongoing. It is layered. It is something you live with, not something you finish. At first, I thought healing meant going back to who I was before. I held on to that idea so tightly. I wanted my old life back, my old body, my old independence, my old future. I wanted law school. I wanted my career path. I wanted things to return to how they were supposed to go. But one of the hardest truths I've had to accept is going back wasn't the path forward. So, I had to grieve her, the old version of me, the one who didn't know what a stroke felt like, the one who didn't understand what it meant to rebuild from nothing, the one who assumed time was endless and plans were guaranteed. Letting go of her didn't mean I stopped loving that life. It meant I stopped fighting reality. And in that space, something started to happen. Growth. Not the kind you plan for, the kind you survive into. I started noticing small wins differently, standing a little steadier, thinking a little clearer, relearning trust in my own body, rebuilding confidence from absolute ground zero. Confidence didn't return all at once, but it started to rebuild in fragments I didn't recognize as first. Also, I started to understand more that I wasn't becoming less of myself. I was becoming more layered, more aware, more compassionate, more grounded in what actually matters when everything else gets stripped away. Healing, for me, is not about returning to who I was. It is about learning how to live fully as who I am now, even if that version was not one I expected or had planned for. There is grief in that, real grief, for the life I thought I would have, for their identity I thought I built before everything changed. But there's also something else growing alongside it. Strength that is quieter, deeper, more honest. And over time, I've learned that grieving the old you is not something you finish. It is something you learn to carry differently. Some days it feels heavy. Some days it feels peaceful. And some days feel like gratitude, because both versions of you are still part of the same story. If you are in that space right now, where you are missing who you want to be, who you used to be, I just want you to know this. You are not broken for feeling that way. You are human. You are adjusting. You are rebuilding. And I just want you to know that I am with you. I don't just want to process this journey in silence. I want to turn it into something that serves other people. I want to become an inspirational speaker, sharing my story in hospitals, universities, therapy programs, stroke support groups, and medical conferences. I want people to understand what an AVM is, what stroke recovery really looks like beyond the surface, and what it actually takes to rebuild life from something that completely changed without warning. I don't want to just speak survival. I want to speak about what comes after survival. The grief, the rebuilding, the identity shift, the quiet strength it takes to keep going. I also dream of creating healing retreats in Sedona, Arizona, surrounded by the red rocks and the beautiful space. I want to create a space for survivors, especially young stroke survivors and AVM survivors, to come together in community, to move their bodies through yoga, hiking, physical therapy, occupational therapy, to create painting and expression through processes like conversation, EDMR, meditation, and shared experience, to feel understood without needing to explain everything that they've been through. A place where healing is not rushed, where it's not clinical, where it's not isolating. A place where we can just be human again, because healing is not just medical. It's emotional. It's spiritual. It's connection. And most of all, it's just being seen. And I just want people to know that they are not alone in it. This is Healing Out Loud.